Guys, welcome to Sweep the Pod. I am your host, your number one. The reason you're here, Dan Adute, Anoush from Cobra Kai.
And I am your co-host, I guess now.
Right.
I'm Bret Ernst, Louis LaRusso, actor, comedian. This episode 6.
We're here for it. We're here for one of the craziest episodes of the season. It's episode 6. It is called Quiver.
Yes, and do you know why?
Well, they tell us exactly in the beginning of the episode. A quiver is a group of cobras.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of a wussy name for a group of cobras.
It's always weird that like what they call like a gaggle of geese.
Everything should just be a gaggle.
But I meant there's always a weird word for like a group of animals.
Do you know what a dolphin? Dolphins are a pod.
Right.
Do you know what?
Like this. We're a pod.
Oh my God.
And we can sweep it.
We're sweeping the dolphin pod. Do you know what a group of crows is called?
Oh, I heard. I should know this.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's like a death or a
yeah, a murder.
A murder. A murder of crows.
A murder of
and
crows.
A quiver of cobras.
I guess quiver of cobras is tough if you're the one quivering in response to the cobras. You're like, oh my God, there's a group of cobras. Also, when are cobras traveling in a group?
And I don't know. And who's coming up with the names?
I don't know. But anyway, amazing episode. This is where we get to see.
Do you know what you call a group of bankers?
Okay. Jews. I walked into that one.
Yes, you did.
The episode is all about Johnny's origin story.
Mm-hmm.
We open with a flashback of Johnny as a young boy. And how can you not love someone when they're just a young little boy?
And
not in a creepy way.
Breaks out the Walkman. Very popular when I was a kid.
Not me. I grew up on MP3s.
I know you did.
As a Gen Zer.
No, yeah, you're a Gen Zer. We got to keep playing that.
Dude, I had the yellow Walkman. You know the yellow one?
Yeah.
The yellow Sony that it was like a little water resistant. Like you could splash a little water on it.
You close it,
okay?
it had the metal thing.
It had the latch.
That's all, the latch. It's all the rich kids had that. But guess who I met?
Yeah.
Guess who I met?
You had the Panasonic.
No, I didn't. I had a Sony, the Sony one. But I met a guy, recently, whose family patented auto reverse.
Whoa.
It's pretty major stuff. They had the patent. They created auto reverse.
And how much did they get, like $30 off of that?
Oh, man. I mean, big money off
big
of that.
money.
That was like, well, you don't, I know you don't remember 8-tracks.
No.
So 8-tracks.
You don't remember 8-tracks?
Yeah, of course I do.
Really?
So 8-tracks.
You're older than I
You had
think.
4. You had 3 songs on like say 4 categories. So let's say like you want to hear the first 3 songs, it would be on one track. So you would hit, it would be 1, and then you can go to 2, which had another 3 songs, but you could never play a song individually.
Great.
Right.
Now that we've alienated everyone under 20.
Well, no, this show is all ages. We have a lot of parents.
Yes.
That's what makes this show so unique.
Thank you. Shout out to the parents. Carol, we love you.
All right. I told you.
Oh, time out.
Stop using my mom's name.
Oh my God. And that's in the shot.
We're going to keep recording?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
So I'll just lead us in with.
Yeah, let's just get the door closed and then.
I'll lead us in with.
Carol?
No Carol.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to lead us.
Shout out to Carol.
No, hold on. I'm
Love
just leading
you.
us in. We have a bunch of parents. Ready?
Yeah.
And no, it's not. We didn't lose anyone because we have a bunch of parents watching this show as well. This is an all ages show.
Shout out to Carol.
I told you, stop using my mom's name.
Carol, thank you for being such a loyal, wonderful, beautiful listener. We love you.
And I think it's sad that Rachel doesn't listen.
Okay. You keep my mom's name out your fucking mouth.
Are you close with Rachel?
I love Rachel.
You close with her?
Yeah, very close with her.
Yeah, I'm close with Carol.
I know you are. We've toured together and you're FaceTiming her and I'm FaceTiming my mom. We love our mothers.
And I FaceTime your mom too.
Okay. Wow. So we have this flashback of Johnny. We realize that, he
soundtrack kicks in Boston.
Okay. I don't know any of these.
Don't look back.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of 70s or 80s rock?
Not really. Not really.
The 70s is the best era.
I'm a bossa nova guy. I like Antonio Carlos Jobim. Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia
Do you
de
really like that
graça.
song?
Love it. I know it in Portuguese. Shout out to our Brazilian fans. Brazil
Huge.
loves Cobra Kai.
I know.
They're nuts about it.
We should bring the comics of Cobra Kai to Brazil.
Oh
and
my God.
I actually got asked to do a show in Brazil.
We're going to come to Rio de Janeiro. We're going to come have some pan de queijo. We're going to have some feijoada. Those are some foods that are great.
I know. Before we get into it, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because it's just random. Because look, eventually we're going to run out of episodes of Cobra Kai.
Okay.
And we could keep the podcast going.
Right.
So I have questions for you.
We're going to auto reverse.
We're going to auto reverse.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that was, you could listen to back in the day. Once the tape finished, you had to take it out, turn it over, and start it again. With auto reverse, you could go and then it would go click, click, and then it would play the other side without you having to take the.
Yeah, just in case there were any remaining under 20s, we really wanted to make
the kids need to know their history.
Yes.
You've traveled the world.
Yes.
What is your favorite type of food and what is considered the best type of food?
Consider the best. You can't consider anything the best type of food. My favorite type of food, honestly, you're going to think I'm BSing. America, in my opinion, has the best food culture in the world right now. It's the best place to eat on earth.
But I mean, America, we consider hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff like that. But I meant like what type of cuisine?
America
Mexican, Italian, French?
America is a melting pot.
Well, what's considered like unique to America besides?
I think the steakhouse is a very American thing.
Nothing beats a good steakhouse. I'm partial to Italian, obviously, but then steakhouse.
Steakhouse?
And I've tried to eat at every one in Vegas.
They're great.
Golden Steer right now is number one.
Really?
Oh, it's great.
I heard that Taylor Sheridan has a steakhouse pop-up right now at the Wynn, where he's serving beef from his ranch at this steakhouse at the Wynn.
I got to check it out then.
There you go. I got you. Back to the episode of the show.
So young Johnny puts the Walkman on, riding his bike, comes across the karate studio, Cobra Kai, looks in the window, sees Kreese.
Inspired.
He
wants it. So now we're realizing, why did Johnny get into karate? That's the question of this episode. And then we cut to current time and we get the epic quiet. I mean, I'm not going to yell it on the mic, but quiet. His quiet is so good. He gets him, he shuts them up right away.
He really commands attention as a sensei.
And then he starts roasting the students, which I think is the funniest thing ever. Yeah. He just starts going through and roasting them.
Told the kid, I wrote those down. Your shirt sucks. You have shit for teeth. Look at you. Reminds me of being a virgin. Told the fat kid nice tits.
Oh my God.
Called them all nerds.
It's so good. Right. Like, why? Why? He's just...
He doesn't care.
He just doesn't care.
And again, to the younger people who don't know what auto reverse is, that is very indicative of our generation. Let's stop with the Gen Z thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is why we like to shit on each other. It's just the way we showed love.
Yes.
It's just how we communicated. Nobody had feelings and we just made fun of each other all the time.
Yeah, we love each other. I leave here and I have a therapy session to work it all out. And then I come back the next day for more. We have Sam is getting cyberbullied now. She's getting blowjob stuff on the cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And
there was a picture with her with like 80 hot dogs in her mouth.
Yeah, 80 hot dogs in the mouth. And then we have Daniel.
Wait, I wanted to add something to that.
Okay.
And she's stalking Miguel now.
She's stalking Miguel.
She's looking at his face, which is another thing. You can cyberbully and cyber stalk. She's
do that.
Cyber stalking Miguel.
We couldn't do that in our day.
You mean in my day?
We had to real stalk.
Yeah.
You'd have to find a tree outside of the window.
And hang outside with binoculars.
Get the binoculars. Get a rag full of chloroform.
A white van.
A
bag of candy.
You kids don't know how good you have it. Sam, and then now Daniel goes on his journey of trying to find people to do karate with him. Because you can't just do karate alone. You can't karate-sturbate. You have to do karate with someone else. He asked Sam. Sam's not into it. She's out.
Which, by the way, the actress Mary, I believe, was in her 20s playing a 16-year-old.
Really?
At the time. And I remember when we were doing the episode at the barbecue, I was talking to her and I'm like, she was talking about platypuses being her favorite animal.
Okay.
And,
shout out to platypi.
Is that a plural platypus?
I don't know.
A gang of platypuses.
A gang of platypi.
A clan of platypi.
Yeah.
And I just remember talking like, oh, that's really nice. You like platypuses, thinking she's a young girl. And she's like, yeah, no, I studied animals in college. And then I'm like, wait, how old are you? She's like, I thought she was like 25 or something at the time, or 24. I'm like, get out of here.
Oh my God. You're like, yeah, little girl.
Yeah, like,
platypus is such an interesting animal.
Wow, you should really look into that. But
and she's like, yeah, I started a platypus charity foundation when I was a biologist.
So
at
now
Stanford.
Dang it, Daniel's looking for people to do karate with. He goes with his daughter who says, Dad, I'm 16 now. I'm not a kid. And he's like, okay, just asking. Then he goes to Amanda.
No, goes to Anthony.
Anthony, who's
super annoying.
Wants nothing to do
My
with
God,
it.
I want to beat the crap out of this little kid in the show.
I know, but he's doing such a good job.
I know.
Because in real life, the kid was nothing like that.
No, he's a very nice kid.
Very nice.
But he also seems like a completely different human being. He looks like a 4-year-old, and now he looks 3 seasons later. He looks like
he's a grown man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then he doesn't go to him yet. See, you skipped it. He went to Amanda and said, hey, while she's cooking, and she goes, well, you know what happened last time we did karate? And then they look at Anthony, meaning they had sex in the dojo, and that's how he was born. Then he goes to Anthony and says, and Anthony wants nothing to do with him. Instead of doing karate in real life, he'd rather play it on his little video game.
And he's got that sort of, seems like an homage to a Mortal Kombat type game.
Well, no, that's the Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, yeah. Shout out to Hayukin. Shout out to
Hayukin.
What were some of the names of the characters in Street Fighter?
Johnny Steele or some. Oh no, wasn't that a porn star?
Okay.
I think it was Ron Jeremy.
There was no Ron Jeremy. Then we get back
Peter
to Cobra
North,
Kai.
I think, was one of the Street Fighters. Well, no, then we go to Robbie with his friends.
No.
Right, with Shaggy.
No.
That's why, because I said the kid Shaggy.
No, first we go to Dimitri getting his ass kicked at Cobra Kai.
That's correct.
Dimitri is like, he does the perfect Gen Z, we're paying you money. You work for us. You cannot hurt us. And boy, does he have it coming.
Wait a minute. I thought that Robbie's in the apartment with Shaggy. That kid reminds me of Shaggy and then the gang member, because now he's got his outfit on and they're making fun of him. Then we go to Cobra Kai.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not going every single, you wouldn't have to go every single
I wrote it down, so don't tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I lead, you follow.
Don't you feel like we're married at this point?
This is marriage. I can't wait to join your ex in divorce.
You'll get the whole podcast done.
And now we get to an epic scene that I think was in contention for best scene at the Emmys. I think the Oscars even wanted to honor it, even though it's not a film. And this is my scene with Daniel when he asked me to join to do karate with him.
You skipped a big major part.
Wow.
So now we're in the Cobra Kai dojo and all the kids are there. And Johnny's training the nerds. When he says to the kid, come on, tits. He keeps calling the heavy kid tits. Then he calls him lip again, right? And then Miguel was saying something like, hey, can you, let's be nice. And he goes, no. And I agree with this. You need to learn to take insults. If you can't take insults, then you can't even take a punch. And that is something that is missing, okay? This ideology or philosophy that you don't want everybody to like you, right? And obviously me and Dan are in this. Not everybody's going to like you. People are going to make fun of you. Who cares? If you can't take words, how are you going to take real life tragedies and stuff? By the way, everybody gets picked on in life. You just choose to, and I think that's the main idea of Cobra Kai, Johnny, is who cares what people say? Who cares if you get made fun of? Let it go.
Right.
Grow up.
Right.
You could take a punch in the face. Now we come to your major scene.
Thank you so much.
I just think that's a big part to skip.
You guys can fast forward through that if you just want to get to my scene. My God, the scene that we've all been waiting for. when Daniel asked me to do karate with him. Now, I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen this scene in a very long time.
I cried.
I was watching it and I was like, the acting is actually really good in this. I'm really good at acting in this scene. And I'm serious. I was like, wow, I really feel like I'm in the moment. I feel like I'm listening and responding. I have comedy. I have fun.
I have a critique.
I will fucking walk off this stage.
Oh, please.
What do you have?
When are you asking me as my boss? Then yes. If you're asking me as your friend, your timing was off.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
You looked very stiff.
Dude, you're crazy. And
then when you delivered your Vindaloo line, do you remember going over this in the hotel room?
First of all, asshole. Every freaking line of this, I don't know if you're doing a bit. If you're not doing a bit right now, I'm really gonna be pissed.
Now I don't know if you're doing a bit trying to get pissed.
I'm not doing a bit. I really thought I acted my ass off on that scene.
Dude, it's 5 lines.
Yes, but I nailed them, dude. I nailed them.
Of course I'm doing a bit. Did you, first of all, 99.99999%, I'm joking.
Okay.
Now, you're at about 99.98%.
Right.
So if you're really serious about this.
Okay.
If you want my true opinion on it.
I don't think I do.
Okay.
Okay, what is it?
Get back into class, man. No, do you remember working the Vindaloo line in the hotel?
Yes, because it was quite a tongue twister.
But it was something that I was like, I'm like, what is that? And I knew you like food because we went out, but I didn't know that you were like this into food. Which now I know you have the article out now.
Oh yeah, columnist for fine dining.
Nostradamus or something.
Foodstradamus,
Did you come up with that name?
I make our food predictions. Yes, I am Foodstradamus. I called the hipsterization of the fish fillet sandwich before anyone saw it coming. I called the espresso martini. I called shishito peppers. I called all these things. Anyway, that's the side.
I don't know what shishito peppers means, but all I remember is you going over this Vindaloo line.
Yeah.
And you could not get it in the room.
Well, because it's a mouthful. It was a mouthful.
Now, what is Vindaloo?
Vindaloo is a Indian preparation. It's very, very spicy. It's a fiery chili sauce, normally used for lamb. Pork Vindaloo, pork is not used very often in India. You have the cows used in the north, and then the rest is usually vegetarian. Pigs haven't really made their way to India, but who am I to argue with the writers?
Right.
Pork Vindaloo. Why not?
You nailed it unnaturally, but you nailed it.
Why can't you just say you nailed it? It always has to be something.
And now I come in.
This
was stellar acting.
Well, I have some notes. So this is the scene where we are busting Robbie's balls.
Eating popcorn. I come in. You say it needs more salt. I say it's too salty. But now we're character choice wise. So let's just analyze these epic scenes.
Okay, great.
Are you were you telling him it's not salty enough because it wasn't salty because you know what Vindaloo is? Or because my line was...
Wait, the salty wasn't the Vindaloo. The salty was the popcorn.
I'm saying though, being a noosh, talking about Vindaloo, being a foodie, because they incorporated in that.
Yes.
When you tasted that popcorn, did you really think it needed more salt, or were you just, busting his balls as a character? As what was Anush's motivation?
Not only did I think there was too much salt, but for the week before,
no, not enough salt.
For the week before, every night I was eating popcorn with no salt on it, just to get myself ready for the blandness of no salt popcorn. That's called method acting.
Well, I played it. Well, but I'm saying, so you chose.
Dude, I don't fucking remember how I chose.
No, because I'm saying.
I said the line and then I went to Crafty and got my peanut M&M.
No, I'm saying because you tell him, are we breaking his balls?
Yes, we're breaking. So you're saying,
yeah, you can't listen to a question, can you? You can't listen. We got to go through your whole process. I'm asking, were you telling him that just to break his balls, or did Anush really think there wasn't enough salt?
I think Anush really thought there wasn't enough salt.
Okay.
I think Anush is being nice. You're the ball buster.
No,
I don't
but
bust
I
balls.
played it as if it needed more salt.
Yeah.
I mean, it was too salty. See, this is what you people don't know that goes into 5 lines on a hit series. We put a lot of thought into the motivation of popcorn.
To all the listeners who are still here after the auto reverse and 8-track fiasco, I just want to apologize that you stayed here for this.
All right, so now we start fucking with them.
Now we start fucking with them. You start fucking with them.
Yeah. Well, no, I said, yeah. We both were, because you were like, hey, he wants a shirt.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
I'm like, yeah, see, come on, man.
You're right. Oh my God.
This is why you could not.
Forgot.
Yeah, this is why you suck as an actor.
I did such a good job. You know, I have an outer body experience when I act. I disassociate from Dan and
All right, we're beating this bit to death. All right, so now we start messing with them, which I thought this was, again, pretty edgy. A lot of dick jokes, dick in the face, dick in the mouth, eat a lot of dicks. And now Samantha is getting blow pops because she apparently blew the guy. But she kind of laughs it off.
Yes, she seems very adult in this situation. And she ends up bonding with Miguel because they take her for the fetal pig.
You jumped it?
Did I? Shit.
So now this is when Louie's up to no good. And I think he tells Robbie, you know, you should park the cars if you want to earn, telling him to move the cars up, right? Because now that's when it comes, then it comes to Ralph, because Robbie runs out of this, out.
Yes.
So I tricked him into moving the car, starting the car.
What kind of car is it?
A Porsche.
Porsche 911.
Right. So
Porsche 911.
Daniel comes running in.
One of the most epic sports cars that was ever invented.
So
German engineering at its finest.
All right, shut up. So now Daniel comes running out.
Do I drive a Porsche 911? Yes, I do. I don't like to talk about it very often, but as a Porsche driver, I enjoyed that scene.
Because that falafel Phil money's strong.
Hell yeah.
So now Daniel, and this is what I noticed. The kid, Robbie, he goes, what are you doing? Robbie goes, whatever, goes to leave. Daniel chases after him, calming the kid. Notices when he goes, you punch, you're going to break your finger. So do you see why this is key not to just skip over? Because I know you just wanted to talk about your stellar performance. So now he says him,
I just want to give the people what they want.
You gotta learn how to throw a punch. And I've noticed that Ralph, or Daniel, is very good. His character's always calming kids.
Yeah.
Always knows how to calm them, gets Robbie down. And now we're in science class. This is when she got the blow pops.
Oh, okay, got it.
Blow pop jokes. They're doing pigs. And it's Dimitri.
You're such a dick in the show. You're such a dick.
You're a dick too.
This poor kid, you make him rev up a car.
The writers
make him rev up a car in a dealership which honestly now you're gassing people.
Well, let's go at it this way, Anush.
What are you, a Nazi?
You're
gassing people.
Anush, you were the ones that brought up the shirt. You're the one being sarcastic. You're a dick too,
dude. Shirt prank. Oh, you want a shirt? Versus let's turn this into Auschwitz.
Well, I was laughing when it was going on. You were right next to me. So now they're in science class and they're dissecting a pig. I had a question. Have you ever done that? Did you ever have to dissect a pig?
I think I dissected a pig or a frog. I'm not sure which one it was.
I could not do it.
Really? I loved science. You know,
I hated the smell of the formaldehyde. It got me nauseous.
When I went to Anthony Hopkins University.
Bernard Hopkins.
No, I mean, I was going to become a doctor, so I love that stuff. I don't like blood still, like getting my blood drawn. I hate it.
Oh, but could you draw blood?
No.
So what made you be a doctor?
Well, I'm not. I'm fucking here with you.
But all right, what made you think you wanted to be a doctor?
I'm very good at sciences. Go ahead, ask me any science question. I'll know the answer.
Your epidermis is showing.
How dare you? Now, Sam and Miguel Mon, everyone quits Cobra Kai, right? Because they can't take the bullying. And there's just like a handful of people left. Okay.
And Lip is one of them. Which I think is funny because
no, but when does Lip walk off?
Right now.
Is this where it is? Okay.
Yeah, so Lip stayed. And I love that Aisha, you are the girl. She's kind of like hardcore.
Yeah.
She's all in it. And he goes in, and this is when he's again talking about the nerds. And then when Johnny goes to Eli at this time.
Yes.
And he kept calling him Lip. And he's like, look, it's a deformity. He goes, then don't have a fucked up lip. Right? And he goes, are you autistic or retarded or something? And he goes, I'm on the spectrum. And he goes, I don't know what that is, but get off it or something.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
He leaves. Is this where he says to him something along the lines of like, why don't you poke your eye out and put an eye patch on?
Yeah. And then he goes, yeah, that would look too weird with your busted lip. And he just won't leave the lip alone.
Yeah.
Now, what I like about this is he's insulting, but I know it sounds crazy. You can insult without being mean. And what I mean by that is like some people like you have like an ugly jacket on. And men do this naturally anyways. And I'd be like, dude, that jacket's ugly. I'm insulting the jacket. I don't think that jacket's ugly, but
I was going to say, do you actually think this jacket?
No.
This is an Officine General jacket.
That's the second General jacket you've gotten.
I love the brand Officine General.
What's that jacket worth?
This jacket?
Yeah.
Probably $700.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's an Officine General.
You paid $700 for that?
Yes, I did.
You're the guy.
I'm which guy?
You're the guy.
The guy who became successful at comedy and drives a Porsche and has an Officine General and a Rolex. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
No, look, I could buy those things too. I just don't fall for it. If I looked at that, there's nothing about that jacket that's like, I would pay $700. It's not leather, it's corduroy.
Yes, but it's the design.
It came with an A-track.
It's a Japanese design, Officine General.
I don't know. All right, anyways.
Anyways.
Go ahead. No, so you can insult somebody by some people just state the obvious.
Yeah, but dude, he's being mean. There's no way you can look at that scene and say he's just being insulting.
But he may not know any better.
I think he's not a sociopath. He knows when he's being mean. It's not a
sociopath. There are
it would be a sociopath if he was doing that and didn't think it was mean. I think he knows he's being mean.
Look, if you grow up around those types of guys, okay,
here we go.
They just call it what it is.
When I grew up in Jersey.
No, this is not that. It has nothing to do with that. I'm saying certain men just don't view honesty as being rude. And they don't know.
Is there any asshole that you wouldn't defend?
No, because there are people that are assholes. Like if somebody's saying something to you to hurt your feelings, or if they're just curious or pointing out the obvious, it would be like if a little kid said, you're ugly. Do you think he's being mean, or do you think he just really thinks you're ugly?
Johnny's not a little kid. I think,
I think he's lacking that.
But in all seriousness, I think the reason why you end up giving him so much credit right now is only because of the outcome, which is that it ends up driving Eli to Hawk. And he gets so infuriated with what he is that and being identified by the cleft lip that he has to reframe it and almost like divert attention to the Mohawk and create a completely different persona.
No.
And so you can say, yes, well, Johnny drove him to that.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm saying, I know, but I'm saying the reason why
That's not what I'm saying.
Can I finish my thought?
Yeah, tell me what my reason is.
The reason why.
Tell me why.
You're so simple. The reason why you're giving him hindsight credit because you're like, yes. Well,
no, I'm not.
Eventually, that tough love turned him into Hawk.
I'm not giving him. I'm saying there are guys.
So if Hawk just left if Eli just left off of that and just left the show and cried his ass off and never came back to Cobra Kai,
he'd be like, all right,
good,
get over it.
Get over it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say, wow, maybe that guy was a dick for yelling at a kid about his cleft lip.
No, it's like he's not yelling at. He's just. There are guys that just don't have that gauge.
They're called assholes.
No, they're only assholes if it bothers you. The fact that he has it. Everybody knows it's there. Right? Everybody knows. You can see it. He knows.
If I said to you, your cranium looks like a Cro-Magnon man. You look like we
have the same cranium.
You look like a caveman.
Right.
Who somehow got dressed up into human clothes.
Yeah.
And
I'd say some people find cavemen attractive.
Okay.
I'm not justifying it. You took this somewhere else. I'm talking more about Johnny's character, right? Like with the bullying thing. I personally think that, not that he shows love that way. He doesn't know. It's just, oh yeah, then why is that there? There's something lacking there. But I don't think it's mean-spirited. That's all I'm trying to say. And it's funny. That's why you're laughing. If you really felt bad, you would shut it off. But you're laughing with everyone else because of the brutal honesty that he has.
I'm being put in such an awful position right now because I just want to move on.
All right, let's move on.
But the next scene is your scene, so it's going to give you more fucking oxygen.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, now Louis apologizes to Robbie about the Porsche incident.
And tell me why I did that then, because you're telling me what I think. Tell me why I apologize that way.
Because you are an asshole and you're just going to prank him again. You're just lulling him into comfort so you can prank him yet one more time.
Mm-hmm. Now, you do realize that when we're talking about the character and the motivation for a character has nothing to do with real life. So when I'm talking about Johnny being one of those guys that can insult, but he's not really insulting if he's just being honest because he's not being mean, that's the choice of the character. Louis, on the other hand, is being forced to apologize and is mean and is a dick. Okay.
And you were absolutely typecast for this role.
Yeah, right. And now I say to him, hey, if you want to get ahead, look, I'm apologize. I'm supposed to drop these off. Again, Louis up to his old tricks, but come to find out, little behind the scenes information, the showrunners and writers really hate stevia in real life. And that's why they made me go, who in the, apparently they hated stevia. Because I'm like, I don't know who eats this shit or uses it, and I throw it in the trash. They did not want stevia on the set. None of them like it. They're like, I don't understand who made it. It's bitter. It's not really sweet. And they have a real vendetta against stevia.
What's funny is that in real life, yesterday, you ordered a coffee with stevia.
And I have one in there waiting for me. Amazing. And I do like it.
See how good of an actor he is? He likes stevia, but you believe in the scene that he actually doesn't like stevia.
So now...
Hold on. Accept your applause.
Thank you, sir.
So now we have a Johnny flashback. And this is where we really start to develop some heart for Johnny. And even though this is where in my eyes, because before I was like, he's an asshole for being like that. But then this humanized him, this scene where we see that he's told by his stepdad that he's a social loser. He discovered karate as a loser. So he wants to, it was being a social outcast that brought him to Cobra Kai. And so I think the reason why he's being so mean to these kids is because he sees himself in them and does not want to look at that past. He wants to get past that, but all these kids are reminding him of that. And so it's so jarring to him that his only lash out is to make fun of them and to kind of try to get them out.
I think I'm not joking. How could you miss this other thing leading up to that? How could you miss the scene where Samantha is nervous to open up her computer because she keeps getting bullied, shows bravery, opens it up anyways, and it's from Miguel. He sends a pig and he makes her smile and laugh.
Yes.
That is now starting the love relationship between her and Miguel.
Great.
Right. Now, on the flip side, when he's at dinner, now we're at the scene as a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's with his father, his stepfather, who made a Doug Henning reference, which I thought was great.
Who's Doug Henning?
Doug Henning was who David Copperfield worked for.
Okay.
And
he's a magician?
Learned from him. He was a magician.
Okay.
And apparently Johnny wanted to be a magician, which was a very key thing.
Which is so cute. And it's so like endearing, like a kid who wants to do magic.
And the Walkman, as soon as he's getting bitchy, he puts the music on. Boston. That's why he puts the music on in the car. You're missing everything about what makes a character, what gives it levels and layers.
First of all,
Eleanor Roosevelt said something very brilliant. She said, Intelligent minds discuss issues. Average minds discuss events. Simple minds discuss people. And when you're adding layers like that as a writer, you really gives you insight to what a good person Johnny is. You're
such an asshole. I'm literally giving my point of view and you have extra things to add. And instead of yes-anding and being like, yes, Dan, there is that. And also, this thing with the music.
Glance over the fact he wanted to be a magician, which is an awful choice, by the way. That Johnny wanted to be a magician.
This is what we're doing. We're talking about it. It's not, hey, Dan, you name all the things that you see. And if you miss one, I'm going to shit on you. It's, oh, yeah, Dan, you saw that. Also,
right,
I agree.
I agree.
What an asshole.
Just, well, because
and then you fucking bring up Eleanor Roosevelt?
I'm bringing up.
So that's your mic drop?
You know.
Can we, and in the words of our polio president's wife.
Do I sound like that?
In the words of polio president's wife.
Like
Eleanor Roosevelt. Fucker starts quoting Eleanor Roosevelt.
We are having a turning point in this podcast. And I am going to say you are right. I am taking every conversation we have off camera, every time I'm with you, your whole persona, and I'm realizing I am projecting that into this podcast. So let's just take it as if you are an objective person and you're just stating something, and I'll agree with you. I do agree with you. This is my fault. I'll take credit for this one, for this argument.
I don't know if you're apologizing to me in the same way you apologize to Robbie, and you're just fattening me up for the kill. So we're just going to move on.
I just think, personally, I think these are things that are important to point out. He wanted to be a magician.
I think it's
great.
By the way,
did the bottle cap thing again.
I think it's great to point them out.
Yeah.
But if I don't point it out, it doesn't mean that I'm a fucking idiot and Eleanor Roosevelt would take a dump on my face. So Robbie brings the porno to Daniel.
Right.
We realize Louis was up to his old ways. He pranked him again. There were no documents. It was a porno. And but the timing actually ends up being fortuitous because Robbie ends up walking in on Daniel while he is doing karate.
Mm-hmm.
And what better, everyone has said no to him. Maybe Robbie's going to say yes.
And basically, I like the way Daniel knew he wasn't supposed to get the report, opened it up, was playing it like he wasn't mad.
Mm-hmm.
Then he brings up balance.
Yeah.
Balance comes up again.
Yeah.
And this is where now you're going to see Daniel training the bad boy.
Right.
And the bad boy training the underdogs.
Amazing.
Except Aisha now. Aisha.
I think we just say it once in every episode when we mention her the first time.
All right.
But I love it.
She's now a savage.
She's a savage.
When everybody's lined up, Johnny's like, well, where is everybody? Well, you're being mean to people. And she goes, and they're a bunch of pussies. And that transformation,
quick.
That one is where she's like, yeah, she's all in on the Cobra Kai philosophy. Yeah. No apologies.
None. And I'm excited for it because now I'm like, I can't wait for her to be unleashed on these little bitches at school that have been giving her shit.
And then in comes...
epic entrance.
Eli comes walking in, Lip. And he's like, yo, who's that? Is that you, Lip? Then he's like, oh, awesome Mohawk. Now, I missed that. I forgot that's why he called him Hawk.
Yeah, I missed that too, actually. It's so funny. But he says something like awesome reframe. He uses the word reframe, which I think is actually very powerful because I do think a lot of times people, you can go to as much therapy as you want. You can go to as much this and that and analyzing, but sometimes you need a classic fucking reframe. And that will pull you out.
Can you please explain to everyone what a reframe is?
So what I mean by a reframe is this. You can have a Picasso, a beautiful painting. And if it's in a beautiful frame, it's going to look amazing. But it's in a really crappy frame. The Picasso is not going to look great. And so I think we all have that inner Picasso in us. Like you have that in you. You just have to figure out which way to present it, which way to frame it. He's the same guy, but he just changed his frame and now he has a mohawk and it almost makes the cleft lip look so much cooler. It looks like it just completely...
Johnny recommended that. He said, get a patch, do something.
Do
you think that motivated him to get the mohawk?
I do. I think that...
He's like, compliment the lip.
he was asking for a classic reframe, something you read a lot about in Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us all about reframing your situation. And I think he did a classic reframe.
Really? Because I knew about Amari Fati and Memento Mori. I never heard.
Yeah, Memento Mori is you wanna think about
you're gonna die one day.
You're gonna die one day, and so you got to live your life to the best. It's like,
and Amari Fati is embrace your fate.
Yeah, you want to embrace your faith. But a lot of times, what the Stoics would do is that they would be put in these awful situations, and they would just try to they'd reframe it and try to find the best. There was a famous Stoic who was about to be executed, and Cato the Elder asked him, "What do you think now? You know, are you super depressed? How do you feel about your execution?" He said, "No, I'm actually very excited to look forward to the moment when my body separates from my soul and to see exactly how that feels." Like, to show that curiosity in the face of an execution is such a reframe. And so what we're doing here is we are reframing Eli into Hawk. Same guy, different frame. Momenti mori, potenti catati.
And I thought a reframe was just a camera shot, but anyways, kidding. Eleanor Roosevelt said,
"Oh, for the love of God.
If the art is this, if the art is,
what, do you have like a book of quotes from Eleanor Roosevelt?
Say this? Eleanor Roosevelt said, if the art is authentic and true, it doesn't matter what frame it's in."
Yeah, and what the fuck did Eleanor Roosevelt do artistically? Nothing. She fucking changed the diapers of a polio president.
Hold on. Eleanor Roosevelt had a quote about making artistic quotes without being artistic.
What is this desk calendar of Eleanor Roosevelt quotes that you have?
You know, Eleanor Roosevelt had a quote about desk calendars.
OMG.
You may know the day of the week, but the philosophy that comes with it is your own journey.
Yeah, snaps. And we also know the most famous Eleanor Roosevelt quote ever: "Wax on, wax off." Let's go.
Boom, boom. Now we're at our segment where you guys keep sending in these questions. I personally think they could be a little bit more edgier.
Yeah.
Unless our producer is screening them.
Also, it's a little bit more edgy, not more edgier.
I'm sorry. Well, Eleanor Roosevelt was.
Oh, for the love of Jesus.
So, guys, if you want to keep submitting any questions, any comments, insults to me or to Dan, we don't care. We just reframe it. Make sure you follow our socials, sweep the pod. Just submit them and we'll read them on. So now episode 6, I'll kick it off, right?
Let's go.
Did I do it last time? All right. It doesn't matter. We're going to answer them anyways. Quiver Boston, Young Johnny with Walkman. Oh, wait,
you're
never
reading
mind.
your
That's my
fucking
notes. I'm sorry.
Holy cow. He's reading his notes. You know, Eleanor Roosevelt once said that... Oh my God. I'm going to get us started with unbelievable. Who had a more inspiring transformation in the episode? Miguel standing up for his friends, or Eli becoming Hawk? And I'm going to throw another one in there. Or Aisha becoming a badass Aisha.
I'm going with Aisha.
Yeah.
I love her transformation. Hawk is just, in this episode, we know what he becomes and what he transforms to.
Right.
But up to this point, I got to say Aisha, man, she went from, and you know, sometimes when you're bullied, it lights a fire.
Yeah.
And like I said, you have two choices. You can either run and hide or move forward. And Aisha chose to move forward and becomes a badass. So
boom.
Go ahead. Number 2.
Be a sensei to a group of underdogs or winning champs?
Sensei to a group of underdogs.
Really?
Absolutely.
Not me.
And then I'll earn that. I'll earn that champion. It's falling down, Dan. So just ignore it.
Do you know how to tighten the microphone?
Not. It's
Are you not a real comedian?
Going.
I thought you were a real comedian.
Yeah, I don't.
Who knows how to use a microphone? Okay, fine.
It's wobbly. It's not stable. I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay. A kata with Daniel or sparring with Johnny?
I don't. Kata. Probably
really?
Kata with Daniel.
I like sparring, man. I want to sweat. I want to get it going.
All right.
Go.
Would you rather deal with Johnny's harsh teaching style or Louis' pranks at LaRusso Auto?
Johnny's harsh teaching styles. I'm not a fan of prank. One prank is fine, but when you keep doing it, it's like enough of this fucking guy.
Yeah, it's fun every once in a while.
Yeah.
And you have pranked me before, so I know you like pranks.
How did I prank you?
Answering the door naked.
That's not a prank. That's an honor.
Sending me texts and not being there. Hey, I'll meet you here, and you don't show up.
Right. That's just me being not good at
That's
being at
just
appointments.
you avoiding
Not a
me.
prank. All right.
I would probably, the harsh teaching style, but I was used to that from coaches and whatever. Science partner or solo work?
Solo work.
Same.
I don't work well with others, as you can tell.
No, I'd say the same.
Well, that's why we're stand-up comics. Like we are lone wolves. We march by the beat of our own drums.
Haze or befriended a new coworker? So would you rather haze or just go be friends?
Be friends.
Be friends. Easy.
I'm not a hazer.
Easy done.
Although I did haze Mara, our producer. She got hazed.
See, that's
I hazed her.
You did.
I did.
You did.
Here's what happened. There was an email exchange where you and I were supposed to meet in LA for this
which
recording
he confirmed.
session.
He
For this
confirmed.
recording
Everybody
session.
confirmed.
Okay. And mind you, there's a deluge of emails coming back and forth. There's a fire in LA. There's evacuations happening.
Stop using that as an excuse.
So there's 9/11.
By the way, this happened before the fires, and because I said, what do you want to do? You're like, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I said I'm good with it.
Right.
I said I'm good with it. I'll admit to it. Now, so you booked your flight and your hotel room and car to be in LA, and you were like, hey, just confirming for the weekend, and I completely slipped my mind. And I was like, are we recording this weekend? And you were like, yeah, dude, you confirmed it a while ago. And I was like, oh. And I was like looking at it, and I was texting with Saiba, our network head, and I was like, let me call Bret. I was like, let me call Bret. Let me sort it out. And before I call Bret, Mara, our producer, who's lovely, by the way, who I hadn't met though yet, takes a fucking screenshot.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Of my email with like a logo of my head next to it, so I know that it comes from me. And it's like, and it says, yeah, confirmed for the 16th and 17th. And she tops the email with, you did say it. Look at the evidence. Now, you did say it.
Why is that your sarcastic person
And so
voice?
I responded and said, well, thank you for the evidence, Mara, but I'm on top of it. Anyway.
That's not hazing. That's you calling him on his shit. He never takes accountability. Okay. And on top of that, you were 100% right, because one, now there's conflict in the email. And I forgot who said that they thought it was the 26th and 27th, but it was all confirmed. And I said, Dan said, I'm good with it. And you almost went to denial. I said, go back and read. And
I never went to denial. What do you mean I almost went into denial? I didn't go into denial. I was just sorting it out. And then Mara sends the screenshot. Look what you said, Dan.
All right, Mara, can I defend you? It's right. All you did was just bring the email down and said, yeah, that's it. It was already in the trail. If you would have went back and read it.
Are you nodding? Yeah. Well, you know what? You needed a little haze, because that's when you go into prison, you got to shiv someone right away. And that's what I was doing. I didn't know.
You stabbed the strongest person in the yard.
Exactly.
Sent a message.
To get respect.
I just want the listeners to realize this is the real Dan.
I love Mara.
He's the bully. He's the hazer.
Mara's great.
But Mara, now that you know us, you know that we're always joking.
Yeah. Okay.
Which could be annoying.
Yes, I understand.
We are annoying.
Oh, that's the last one.
Yeah, we are annoying.
And
I'm pretty sure the listeners are like, all right, guys, stop bickering. We get it.
Yeah, I know.
We do. We got to stop.
Let us know if it's too bickery.
Let's do this. Next episode.
No bickering.
No bickering. Let's actually do it without being sarcastic.
And just yes and each other. Love
and
each
just
other.
talk. And we're allowed to take, we can do some funny anecdotes, but don't start shitting on the anecdote. Just don't be you.
Well, for example, like you just said anecdotes instead of anecdotes. And so I'm just supposed to let that go? Like, you know how fucking impossible that is? Anyway, in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, follow me on Instagram at StandUpDan. You can follow Bret on his socials.
I'll do my own socials.
At Bret Ernst.
At Eleanor Roosevelt's biggest fan. No, at Bret Ernst, BRET, 1T, ERNST.com. Guys, check my schedule. We're touring. Me and Dan are absolutely 200%. We don't have the schedule yet. We're making work. We're going to do the Comics of Cobra Kai tour.
It's going to be so fun.
We're going to go to a couple cities.
We've already done it. We did like a trial run, and I got to tell you, it was the most fun I've ever had on the road. It's so fun to perform with Bret. All shitting aside, Bret is one of my favorite comedians to see live. He's so fun. He's so funny. He's so clever. He's so smart, which is something that you do not expect after knowing him in real life.
Come on, me reading my notes and calling it an anecdote.
But yes, we're going to get the tour going soon. Follow the socials of the pod at Sweep the Pod.
And before, send all your questions, everything, and make sure you like and subscribe and you share.